Yeah, sure. Kite AI is building an AI Solana. We want to fix the broken AI economic. So basically, we invented this new proof attributed intelligence. So currently, if you think about Ethereum, Ethereum is giving $4 billion to a million validator, in this case, each year. A million validator doing the exactly same work. So now we're thinking, instead of giving $4 billion to a million validator, why not just redirect 90% this reward to the AI contributor? Because if you look at the AI world today, Apple cannot use any AI product, open source AI product. Like Apple cannot use DeepSeek. Apple, there is a lot of issue use OpenAI because they don't know what's behind the model in this case. Even if there is a million data points, all of them are good. You just take one malicious data point to poison the model and make malicious result in this case. So that's why for the current AI world, I think one thing lacking is end-to-end transparency. So that's what Kite AI is building for. From the emission side, we want to redirect 90% of the rewards to the AI contributor. From receiver side, we want to bring end-to-end transparency to the AI model. So you don't need to open source your algorithm, but we want to make sure the data is actually open source. So whoever uses the model is confident to use the model because they know what's behind the model, what's inside the data. So that's what we built Kite AI for. Oh, that's a good question. It really depends on, I think the most important thing AI going road is that maybe it's already been data poisoned in this case. Maybe some data point is actually malicious. Maybe some data point is actually not reaching. So currently, even the best, most mature large language model, the accuracy is only like a 90%, a little bit over. But if I spent 4 years at Uber, build a foundational data and AI infrastructure at Uber before. And Uber, when we build a machine learning model, for example, at Uber, I supervise the one machine learning model is fraud collision detection. If I'm taking an Uber from here to Hong Kong airport, if there is a car collision, Uber will call me immediately and Uber will call 911 immediately for this case. For all this model, we need to guarantee at least a 99% of accuracy in this case, and maybe recall in this case. Really depends on use case. We need to balance between accuracy and recall. But for the large language model, the accuracy is only 90% in this case. So that's why I think it's, when we talk about protect the consumer, it's more about how about just improve the accuracy and recall for the model first, because it's not reaching traditional machine learning accuracy recall deployed elsewhere in this case. Yeah. I think there are several trending going to happen. For example, take DeepSeek success as an example. The first thing is that we need to open source. So if you look at the data infra, if you look at the operating system, all the best software is open source in this case. It's necessary to open source, and this open source is not traditional. It's not like open source base. It means that end-to-end transparency open source, like where the data come from, which data the model is built on top of, this type of open source. Without open source, people are going to always hesitate to use the model in this case. So that's open source is actually a trending I saw going to be happen over the next few years. Second is we need to bring down the cost. Currently, there is no bigger consumer company deploys a large language model for you to use. The reason is very simple. The long-term customer value for Facebook is roughly $200 per user. But if you're doing an inference call, currently can cost anywhere between a few cents to a few dollars. This doesn't make sense. Economic doesn't make sense. The cost will bring down. It will bring more and more mass adoption of the AI model. The third thing is that I think it's very important is the model should be reduced to a smaller parameter and then deploying edge in this case. Not all the model is work perfectly, in like a large parameter in this case. Sometimes you just don't need that big a parameter. You just deploy in your edge and then use it in your mobile phone. In this case, I think that's one trending as well. Last and most important thing, ever since OpenAI, pop up, half of the previous public data now is private. By the end of this year, I think more than half of data, there is a 3/3, more than half of public data now is actually private. Because people realize data is their most valuable asset for business. And then when they actually make the data public available, OpenAI just call it and use it for free, and then profit billions of dollars from it. So in this case, if there is no systematic way to fix the AI economics, this trending will happen. Every single world, every single company in the world will become a walled garden. So that's what Kite AI is built for: end-to-end transparency and make sure whoever uses your data, you get fair payment and compensation for your data. For that case.